Hi, my name is Amirfat, and together me and you we're gonna learn Adobe Photoshop. In this course you don't need anything to know about Photoshop because we're gonna start from the beginning and work our way through step by step. So without any go further, let's get started. Hello guys, welcome back. In this course we will learn Photoshop from the beginning and we will go step by step. First of all, I want to show you how these tools work in Photoshop. This is the move tool that you can move a selection or layer. For example, I can move this layer from here to here. And if you click Ctrl Z on your keyboard, it will undo your task like this. Ctrl Z and Ctrl Shift Z will redo it like this. After that we have the rectangle tool. You can see rectangle mask a selection in the shape of a rectangle, and if you hold on left click you can see another options of it. For example, I want to select this part of my photo and paint it over there like this. After that we have the polygon tool, lasso tool, that again you can make a selection like this and paint it over. Then we have the magic wand tool, object selection tool, and the quick selection tool. If we use the object selection tool, it will select the object automatically like this. Then we have the crop tool that we can crop our images for different kind of ratios like this. You can put it in 4:6 or 60:9 and make different crops from your image like this. Then we have the eyedropper tool. Before that, let me show you this. This is a crease placeholders frames for image that you can use a placeholder and put your images in there. Then we have the eyedropper tool that samples color from an image. For example, I want to sample this color of my image and paint it over this my photo. Then we have the spot healing brush tool that you can heal. For example, I want to erase this part. You can take blemishes or acne like this. Then we have the brush tool. We can brush over things. We can change our brushes from here. We can change the size, the opacity of it. Can change the size from here and the hardness from here. Then we have the clone step tool that paint with pixels from another part of an image. Like I want to sample this part of my photo. I want to sample this part and move it here like this, or sample this part and move it in here. After that we have the history brush tool that we use for painting and stuff like that. Then we have the eraser tool that you can erase a part of your images. Then we have the paint bucket tool that fills similarity color conscious areas with the foreground color. This is your foreground color and this is your background color. And you can paint over the similar pixels like this. After that we have the smudge tool, and you can smudge over like this. It will make it softer like this. This is used for painting and stuff like that. Then we have the burn tool that darkness areas of an image. You can dark this part or this part, make it darker like this. Then we have the pen tool. The pen tool is very useful because we can manually mask off the part that we want. Like for example, I want to mask off his eyes. I will left click and left click here and drag it. If you drag it, it will make two handles that you can hold Alt and make them different like this. Control them like this. And here, here, and here. You can use here this handle, hold Alt and drag it over here to make the adjustment. After that, you can right click, make selection, feather radius on 1 pixel and OK. Then we can paint over his eyes. After that, we have the type tool that you can type like this. Then you can change the color from here like this and change the font from here like this. You can change the font size from here. And after that, we have the direct selection tool that selects of an individual points and segments of a path. If I, for example, make a path from here to here, then I want to adjust it, I will click on this tool and change my points like this and change the handles, for example. After that, we have the rectangle tool that you can make a rectangle, or if you right click, left click, you can see another options like circle. And if I hold, you will see it's not a perfect circle. If you hold shift, it will make a perfect circle that you can change the color from here, and you can give it a stroke from here, different colors and different shapes. After that, we have the move tool that we can move around our image like this. And at last, we have the zoom tool that you can zoom in or zoom out like this. So we learned the tools that we can use in Photoshop. Then we have this part that's called layers. You can see we can make a new layer from here, and for example, I want to brush this part in an individual layer, change the color like this. I want to paint here. Then you can see it's in a different layer that I can adjust its position, scale, its blending mode, or different kind of things. So you can make different layers for different part you want. And in here we have the adjustment layers that we can change the color, the luminance, make gradient or solid color or invert all color with this adjustment. For example, I want to use the invert. You can see it makes an adjustment layer that invert our image. In here you can see a white part, a layer mask it says, and you can make it, for example, I want to make a layer mask for this. I press this and it will make a layer mask for it. The white color is visible, and if you paint a black color, it erase that part like this, and you can delete it with the delete button. Then we have the effects tool that you can see blending options, bevel and emboss, stroke. If I, for example, make a text here like this, make it bigger, I can give it a different, if I double click on it, it will open up the layer side that you can give it a drop shadow, outer glow, pattern overlay or gradient overlay, or a stroke. And you can make different texts with different colors and shapes and shadows and strokes from here. After that, we have the blending mode like this. I can put my layers in different layer modes. For example, I want to make a shape from here to here, drag it here and change the blending mode of it. You can see we can make things like this. I will put a screenshot to different kind of blending modes that the use of them are different from each other. And we have the opacity of it. We can turn the opacity down and the fill down. Again, I put a screenshot to see the difference between opacity and the fill. Let's hop into fun things. Let me tell you how we can use the camera raw filter. I will go to the filter, camera raw filter, and in here it make a new window. You can see your image or histogram, and if you open the basics, you will see we have the white balance. You can change the temperature of your photo, the tint of your photo. Then I can change the exposure, contrast, highlights like this, shadows, the white parts, the black parts, and the texture and clarity. We can change to dehaze our photo like this. And here we have the vibrance and saturation. You can make your image black and white. We're turning down the saturation. Then we have the curves. In curve, this part is for the highlights of our photo, highlights, lights, the darks, and the shadows. That you can change the shadows from here, and the highlights from here, the lights from here, and the dark part of your photo from here. You can see we can have control it with these handles like this. And in details, we have the sharpening, noise reduction, color noise reduction. If I zoom in, you can see how different it will make. If you turn off the noise reduction, it will decrease our noise in the image. In the color mixer, if I turn the saturation into 0, you can see in the color mixer we can change our colors individually like this. I can turn the saturation, luminance, and the hue of that color. After that, I have the color grading part that you can adjust your midtones, shadows, and highlights individually like this. I can give a blue tone to our shadows, give a yellow to our highlights. And in the optics part, you can see the distortion. You can change your image distortion, and you can give it a vignette. It will appear a black part on your photo. Then in geometry, you can apply balance, perspective correction, apply only level correction, and different kind of things. Then in here we have the manual part. You can change it manually like this. After that, we have the effect parts that we can give it a grain like this and give it a vignette or white vignette. I will give it a little black. And in the calibration part, you can change the red, green, and blue primary like this. So guys, this is the very beginner things of the Photoshop. You can see the before and the after of our image like this. You can use in different parts. And in the next part, I will show you how you can select and mask. For example, I want to select my subject from here. I showed you earlier we can use the pen tool for the manual masking. Then we have the magic wand tool, and the best of them is object selection tool. If I select my subject here, you will see it will automatically select my subject in here, and if I click on select and mask, we will see our selection in here. Then I can go in here and shift the edges a little bit, give it a contrast like this, and smooth it out a little bit like this. You can see we have a perfect selection in here that we can use this image. And if you want to deselect something, you hold Alt and deselect the part that you don't want. And for the hair, we can use the Santiminate colors to clean the edges color that we don't want in here. And when I make a selection, I press OK, you can see the image of my subject is isolated. Then I can use a background or a sky and put it back. Let me see what I have here. For example, I can put this background back in here, put it below my subject, drag it here. You can change the mode of it. For example, on this mode, overlay, and erase these parts. Or I can make it bigger like this. In here, put it in here. Clean the parts that I don't want. Again, I can select it with polygon tool like this. Or clean it out manually. And use my brush for the selection. And make it bigger to make it softer like this. You can see we have a cool photo like this. Then if I hold Ctrl Alt E, I merge the all layers, go to the filter, camera filter, give it a little contrast, turn down the highlights, give it a shadow, the whites and the blacks, give it a texture and a clarity, and turn down the temperature of it and turn the tint a little down, give it a grain, and we have a finished photo like this. Change the red primary for the green, the blue primary, and we have the photo done. Then I can save it. I can go to the file, save as, save on your computer or cloud documents, save it. We have different kind of types for saving. We have the PSC that you can save it as an open project and make a PSC file. Then we have JPEG and the PNG. I can choose the JPEG, save, change the name here. Let me change its name, save it, and in here you have the quality of it, the scans. I put it on 5 progressive, and I put the quality on large and press OK to save my image like this. Guys, I hope you like this video, and in the next tutorial I will show you some tips and tricks that you can make your image even better than this, some intermediate and advanced things, because this was a basic tutorial that all of you can learn it. and hope you like this, and turn on the notification bells to be alert of the new tutorials. I hope you like it. Goodbye.